We're about ready to go through this real revolution in analyzing athletes, and we were lucky enough to have staked a claim here before most people were very interested in it. You know, we study the hell out of movement in Major League Baseball players, NBA players, NFL players. Every athlete is so individual, and that we are going to try to characterize these different physical systems that drive sport with data. And we put numbers on all those systems, and then we use all that data that we generate to predict injuries. I mean, there's a reason that bodies break.
Within 5 years, everyone will know all this. Right now, they're out front, and they're out front in part because they have this huge data set.
When they started talking about all the data stuff, it was kind of new to me. I didn't know what they were talking about, I didn't know what was going on. It's a lot different from what you normally see like in college and high school. It's a lot different. So when they started showing me the data stuff, and I kept seeing I was improving, you know, I was like, well, this stuff probably works.
Okay, Chris, whenever you're ready on it.
So when we have an athlete jumping off a pair of force plates in a 3D motion analysis environment, we know everything about their force production, about what every joint is doing while they're creating that amount of force, if there's any excess of rotation on one side versus the other side. And then we have context for all the data because of the number of professional athletes we've tested. So basically we have a really clear cause-effect model in place for every single athlete, and we spend a whole lot of time collecting data on every single athlete before we even start training them. It just makes it a really precise system. Takes all the guesswork out of it.
The tests I had seen them do on other athletes, so I had a pretty good sense of what they were going to be. I was surprised, in this case, I've got an arthritic hip, which is probably going to need surgery within a year, and I expected to see a really big discrepancy between the hips.
He actually uses a fair amount of hips when he in the counter movement compared to his drop. It's like his hips are almost maxing out.
But it was also interesting to see when they showed me using graphs and on the video capture, okay, now you can watch how this is happening.
This is a hip that's giving you more trouble, right? The right side? And your ground angles are really lousy. I can just say that we've had a number of players that have some liabilities in ground angles that have the same anatomical setup that you have here.
And they've been able to make progress on that?
They all can make progress, yeah.
Part of this is that a lot of this stuff is so advanced that you can learn about it and talk to experts about it and still not fully understand it. So there's an element of faith here. And I imagine especially for an NBA athlete, at the same time it's such a relatively new thing. You have maybe a history of 10 years here. Where this is 5 years from now, 10 years, 15 years from now will be so far advanced so you look back and now and say, oh man, that was primitive.
Every time I step on the court, whether it's playing pickup or just getting a workout in, I can feel the difference, I can see the difference. And that's what keeps bringing me back here.
You know, we need to keep evolving. So if people are copying what we did yesterday, we need to be a lot smarter 2 days from now and 3 days from now. And I'm confident that a lot of the technologies we've used, a lot of the models we've used are going to be used by professional organizations. They're going to want to do more things in-house.
If you have a database of all the players in the league and you bring in all your guys and you can reduce the risk of injury by 5%, 10%, 15%, whatever that number is, that's a win if you're an NBA team.